Troops on plow and parish fields still wait, the ink still dries. Letters ride on urgent horses, liberty in hurried lines. Leave the furrow, drop the ledger, hear that distant rolling sound.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is you see this. I am Steve, and this is our next episode of American Gazette. So, hello to everybody that's new, and hello to all the folks that have been with us for a while. Let's go ahead and see if I can do this right today. All right, I got it there. Boom. All right, so we're going to start off today with some follow-up. Why? Because a lot of stories get put out there, and then nobody follows them up. So you hear a lot of folks saying, hey, nobody's doing nothing against none of these people that are doing wrong, right? All right. Well, there's Andy No. If you don't know who he is, you probably should know who he is. So there was a verdict reached in the first ever federal Antifa terrorism trial. Wait, I thought there was no such thing as Antifa. I guess there is. So, yeah, the thing in Texas at the ICE facility, they all got convicted. Guilty! So a little follow-up there, so you can see that things are actually being done. And then you have to say, okay, so what's Antifa doing after that? Well, in case you didn't think they were not about the violence, intimidation, and terrorist tactics, got this from the Post-Millennial. Hey, look there, Antifa members threaten wife of judge in Prairieland ICE facility case. Vow retaliation for convicted militants. I think that's one of those terrorist tactics to, I don't know, try to be terrifying to somebody? Alrighty. So moving along, I know the other day we did the homework thing and said, hey, who knows what's up with Cuba? Well, as you guys know, there was a blackout there and stuff, but I found this was a little more interesting. Here's where I got it from. Dude usually has good stuff. And, yeah, the people of Cuba just stormed and torched the Communist Party headquarters. What? All right, you get the idea. They're just trying to burn a building down. Yeah. So that's a little follow-up to the Cuban thing. If you guys haven't been paying attention, they've ran out of oil because Venezuela's not sending them any, Iran's not sending them any, and all of a sudden they can't keep the lights on in Cuba, which kind of screws up the whole, I don't know, everybody gets everything for free thing. Yeah, the whole socialist lifestyle. All right, going along here. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go here. Wall Street Apes, they usually got good stuff. If you don't know who they are, you probably should know who they are. Let's see. The man on video attacking San Francisco mayor douchebag security detail has been ordered to be released from jail by a judge. This is the dude just who said, yeah, this is what happens in California. I can't say the word right now. Hold on.
Security detail will be released from jail. A judge ordering that release yesterday after viewing those now viral incidents or videos of that incident. 44-year-old Tony Phillips pleaded not guilty to a host of charges, including assaulting an officer. Court documents say last Thursday, Lurie got out of his car to talk to Phillips, who was blocking the street. Then there was an argument before Lurie's guard pushed Phillips, who then tackled the officer. After watching the video, the judge said it was Phillips who was, quote, violently attacked. Phillips' attorney says Mayor Lurie was in the wrong for asking his client to move.
It doesn't sit well. It's not correct. It's not right for a mayor to have done what he did, incite this confrontation, this violence, and then now expect Mr. Phillips to pay for that.
Phillips' attorney is asking the mayor to tell the district attorney to drop the charges.
So the guy's blocking the street. They get out to say, don't block the street. Then he attacks the freaking security, but it's their fault, I guess, for saying, hey, don't block the street. Hold on, checking this real quick. Okay, had messages, real life. All right, moving right along. Oh, so, yeah, that's the one where the mayor just walks away and leaves the security guy there because security should have to handle that. That's what the peasants are for. All right, following up on other stuff that we've talked about for months and months and years. Remember, kids, voting doesn't matter. Oh, wait. Yes, it does. Here's where I got this one from. I saw it in other places. I just grabbed this one. So I don't know who that person is or whatever. Says, news, Democratic Andy whatever has won the Boca Raton mayor race by just one vote. So for you slow kids in the back, that's 7,568. The other person got 7,567. Huh. First Democratic mayor of Boca Raton in 30 years. One vote. So remember, we're always telling folks, local, local, local. You start local, right? So at the local level, they lost by one. Who didn't go vote that was supposed to go vote that day? I'm sure somebody told their buddies they were going to go vote that day and then to go vote, right? So it does matter. I don't care what people say. You need to go vote. You're given the right to. You should do it and start taking things over locally. All right, here we go. Wall Street Apes again. Like I said, they do good stuff. If you haven't seen the James O'Keefe thing, the whole video is right here, but I'm not going to show the whole video. I've been trying to say for years that the voting system, the getting, what do you call that? What's it called? Petitions. There you go. I saw it right there. Petitions and all that other stuff in California has been broken. And James O'Keefe proves it by showing they're getting paid to do all this stuff. And they're getting the homeless to vote and to sign petitions and all kinds of other stuff. So when everybody says, oh, California voted for it, they're getting what they wanted. No, not really. Yeah? No, not really. So I think those two things kind of tie together, yeah? The system's broke here, guys, but it's spreading everywhere. So start doing things now. Learn from us here behind the enemy lines in California. Right? Right. All right, speaking of the enemy, and I will clarify once more, I did not start calling these people the enemy because I've lived with them forever until they started calling me the enemy. So, speaking of one of the biggest enemies, Governor Fatboy Fritzker, yeah. So here's what they're going to do, right? They're going to come after everybody that did something they don't like. So here's this dude Sam Bovino, who was out there getting all the illegals, won't just get to walk away. He'll be held accountable and responsible for the damage he's done to our nation. We won't forget, and neither should you. No one is above the law. Yeah, they're already saying they're going to come after everybody that didn't play along with them when they wanted you to play along. Sorry, that's how it works. So if you're just going to sit back and be like, well, it doesn't affect me, it will. Get out there, vote, organize, do things. I don't know what to tell people, man. We didn't do it here in the lovely People's Republic of California, and look where we're at. It's coming to a city near you, or is already there. All right, so here's where I got this one. Let's see if I can get this one to run right. So you guys heard about the shooting at Old Dominion where the cadets there handled business and the shooter is no more? Okay, yeah, let me just play this one.
Is a national sickness. We live in a country. Is a national sickness.
There we go.
We live in a country where people care more about guns than they care about 6-year-old children. They care more about guns than they care about synagogue worshipers. And they care more about guns than they do about college students. What that means is that it does not matter how hard President Hemphill works, how hard the chiefs work, somebody will be a victim eventually. It is a matter of time. And until there is the political will to break the spell of the cult of gun absolutism, you will...
Remember, you're in a cult if you like gun rights. Yeah. Why would they want to get rid of gun rights? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. So the people can't resist?
See more incidents like this. So if you're looking for somebody to blame, don't look at anybody up here. Look at our lawmakers who don't have the courage to implement sensible gun control measures. Look to a Supreme Court that enables them. and do something about it. So that is the lesson. Let's mourn the people who have died. Let's decry what has happened, but let's keep the focus where it belongs. It belongs on us and having to change something so that we don't have to suffer through this.
Huh. Yeah. Okay. Remember, that's your fault, not their fault, not anybody else's fault. It's your fault if you own a gun. So speaking of things and stuff, yeah, so this person's usually got good stuff. I like them. 2 weeks, 4 terrorist attacks. Not white, not Christians. But yeah. So none of these guys look like the people that they want to say are the problem. Huh. That's interesting. And I confirmed it. This is all real pictures of the people that have done things. But other people need to give their rights up. Yeah? Not those people. All right. And then just to refresh anybody's memory, I added this one in here in case people don't remember what the attacks were. So West Bloomfield, Michigan, vehicle rammed and shooting attack at the Temple Israel Synagogue by what I can't even say that dude's name. Norfolk, Virginia, a shooting at Old Dominion. We were just talking about that. And I'm not even going to say his name, but the cadets there handled business. Let's see, New York City, 2 ISIS supporters named Douche and Douche 2. Yeah, for attempting to detonate an improvised explosive device during a protest outside Gracie Mansion. Huh. I guess some more information on that one that we'll get to here in a little bit. Austin, Texas, a mass shooting at a downtown bar resulted in 3 deaths and 14 injuries. Yeah. But remember, people right of center are the ones that cause all the problems, have historically caused all the violence and everything else that's politically motivated. Yeah, that's not true, by the way. And here's where I got this one. I've seen it other places. So, this guy, Kyle Chris Najum. Anybody notice the name? Chris Kyle? Yeah. So this guy walked into a school or tried to walk into a school and they wouldn't let him in there. Yeah. And so then he walked away and he was all booted and suited, kitted out. And yeah, he walked in. They said, no, you can't come inside. And then he walked away. And then they arrested him the next day. So somebody stopped something, it appears. The biggest thing is the name. You guys all know who Chris Kyle is, right? If you don't, you should. So that'd be your homework. If you don't know who Chris Kyle is, go look him up. All right, and then here's In Wokeness. So this is, yeah, again, this is why I'm bringing it up, because what he says right here, this is not getting enough attention. 3 days ago, douchebag, his real name, right, went into an elementary school in Klein, Texas. He was armed, wearing tactical gear. Yeah, but the security there stopped him and said, you ain't coming in here, bro. Yeah. No idea why he was going in there armed. No. Oh, yeah. Okay, so hold on. Put this one in here just because. So go. Gotta hit the right buttons. So it says he was arrested the next day after being identified via surveillance and license plate data. I know. All those systems of surveillance and license plate data are simply evil and should all be taken down. Yeah? He was charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon on school premises, 3rd-degree felony. He's in Harris County Jail. I think he's got bailed out since then. I'm not 100% sure. Somebody let me know. And then, wait, hold on, where are we going? Oh, okay. So now, going back to the voting thing. So that was some stuff in Texas. Here's this one, lives TikTok again. Office of DuPage County, Illinois clerk offers resources for finding alternative polling places if people see ICE agents. What? One, ICE ain't got nothing to do with the voting thing, right? But let's hear her.
Hi, I'm Jean Kaczmarek, DuPage County Clerk, with important voting information about the 2026 primary election. In DuPage County, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, better known as ICE, will not be allowed to interfere with DuPage County elections in any way. It is a federal crime for the military or federal agents to interfere in elections or intimidate voters. It is a crime punishable by up to 5 years in prison to deploy federal troops or armed men to any locations where voting is taking place or elections are being held.
But don't forget, it's okay if Black Panthers stand out there with baseball bats and stuff. That's okay.
Those crimes will not be tolerated in DuPage County, not on my watch. My office has set up a dedicated phone line for the community to report any potential ICE deployments at any election day polling places or early voting locations. Any sightings of ICE, military, or federal agents at any DuPage County polling place should be immediately reported to 630-407-5634. Should ICE be spotted at the polls, my office will alert rapid responders on the streets, instantly contact election judges at polling places, and use social media to get the word out to the people of DuPage.
Okay, enough of that. But notice that the state government is saying that they are going to stop federal troops from doing something. Here's my question, though. Why would anybody going to vote legally have an issue with ICE being there? And yes, the laws that she quoted are true and they can't be around there. That's all good. They're not even going to do that. But why would ICE being around a voting area be an issue? That's interesting. All right, this one is kind of a follow-up, but it's also an FTW, yeah? Here we go. So here's where I got this one from. Boom. All right, so everybody remember a couple years ago, Virginia State Capitol, there was all kinds of guys there suited and booted, ready to rock. Yeah, well, Virginia's about to lose, or let me rephrase that. They're about to be like California with gun rights. So all these dudes hanging out here, yeah, get ready to put that stuff up. Okay, now why am I showing that? I'm not showing that to make fun of them or anything else like that. I'm showing you this because this confrontation we have going on in the nation takes years. Not everybody's showing up 4 years ago, whatever it was, 5 years ago, patting each other on the back saying how cool they are. You got to show up all the time. You got to vote. Oh, wait, why is Virginia losing their gun rights? That's right, because the other side voted and or manipulated it, whichever. But at the moment, it looks like they all voted while other people stayed home. So all of this is what is left after 4 or 5 years. It's going to be a long one, and you just can't say, hey, I did something once. It's super cool. Look at me. Let me get my Patriot points, right? Because what happens is people go home. They stop showing up. They don't show up. They stop voting. They stop paying attention. Bam, there it is. How do I know? Hi, I'm in California. Same thing happened here, right? We were like, yeah, whatever. Okay, cool. Yeah, whatever. And then, bam, now we are the People's Republic of California. All right, moving along here. I found this one extremely interesting. Here's this person. All right, everybody wants to talk about like treason and stuff like that, but they don't know the definitions or what actually could be called that. Yeah. Just because somebody doesn't do something you want doesn't mean it's treason. But this is aiding and abetting the enemy.
Urgent message for the Iranian government right here. I need missiles here tonight. Israel's Channel 12 did a report on the new.
You notice the grid coordinates are there, right? Okay.
Patriot battery system. It's right here at the Palachamin Air Force Base. It's actually right here. You can zoom out a little bit, Iran, if you want to see that. Yet again, it's this exact area. I'm going to zoom out for you. This is where the Patriot battery system is. This is the guy that reported it. He's channel 13. Actually, you can see it right here about the Aero battery air defense. He's posting with it. That is going to be right here. It's right there in the middle. Yet again, here's another photo he posted confirming. Look how the sides are like a wall. It opens up just like right here. It's brand new, by the way, Iran, so if you want to fire off a few missiles that way, there's only 6 interceptors in this direction.
Wow. Really?
So you're going to need about 8. You're going to need a bigger barrage than normal. So what I'm assuming, guys, is we fire at Tel Aviv, divert it south, and maybe you can even get some interceptions over here just to
We fire. Oh, okay. We know what side you're on now.
waste some more. Make sure to like the video, repost, share with all your Iranian friends.
Get my likes and clicks.
Let's see if we can possibly get this out to the Iran. Urgent.
Okay. So he's trying to get his little likes and clicks and be a superstar, right? And helping Iran, who kills Americans. I know people don't want to hear that right now, but that's the truth of it. So, but here's a couple. Here's where I got this one from. I've seen it other places. I just grabbed it here. Douchebag Douchey, the creator who uploaded a video revealing the location of Israeli defense systems and equipment, says he's been suspended and claims he's been targeted by conservatives. Huh. Douchebag also sent this guy a DM to inform him his family is currently being targeted for this and is asking for conservatives to take the videos of him down. Wait, you mean they targeted his family like the left was targeting that judge? What?
You know, I don't get mad a lot, but after spending an entire year posting on X, and yesterday I finally break through, I get into the creator program, and I get over 20,000 followers. After a year of posting, they suspend my account. I've had many...
Okay, you guys heard him, right? He got it there. He's there. He's made man on X because that's what he really cares about.
Big creators that everyone knows, millions of followers, reposting my videos, tagging me, and then I get suspended, even though they're the ones that are posting it, number one. These are videos that are posted everywhere on all of my accounts. And they suspend me. They don't give me an appeal option. They kick me out of the program. And yeah, this is what I get, I guess, for trying to get on another platform for a year that Elon Musk says is all about free speech. Like, are you serious? And, you know, this one especially bothers me. This one really did, because I was starting to know a lot of bigger people. I was starting to...
Listen to what he's saying, guys. This is why he's doing this, right? Giving targeting data to Iran wasn't it. It's all about him, his likes, his clicks, his shares. Huh. Wonder how many other people do that in social media land.
Connect with a lot of big name people that could really help me career-wise, and then it just all goes away. Thanks. You know...
Help him career-wise. Yeah, so that was all done to help him career-wise. Huh. Yeah. All right. You guys get the idea there? Okay. So let's, as soon as there's repercussions, oh, it's bad, and it's all just for likes and clicks, man. Okay, you get people killed doing that, dumbass. But he wants the likes and clicks. All right, here's where I got this one from. Not too sure who this is. Let's see. There's a reason why Richardson City Council endorsed the Islamic month of Ramadan. Muslims flipped the mayor's seat last year. What? Hold on. Let's see. What's it say?
When Amir Omar has been elected as the first Muslim mayor of Richardson, Texas. Omar defeated incumbent Bob Doobie with more than 54% of the vote in the May 3rd election.
Wait. Did she just say vote? Wait, so voting matters? No, it doesn't.
His victory marks a major milestone for Muslim representation in local government. Born in Milwaukee to a Palestinian father and Iranian mother, Omar has lived in Richardson for 20 years and previously served on the city council since 2009. His campaign focused on neighborhood revitalization and smart urban development. Omar acknowledged the pride his election brings to the Muslim community, but stressed that his leadership is driven by a vision for inclusive growth. Despite facing occasional religious bias, Omar received overwhelming community support. Observers say his win, alongside the re-election of another Muslim council member, signals a rising wave of political engagement among Muslim Americans in North Texas.
Rising political engagement. Why would they want that? That's interesting that they have rising political engagement while other people are being told, don't vote. That's interesting. So this was the first story I ran across, was this guy here saying that they got acknowledged by the mayor, and then I found out the mayor was Muslim.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. This is your brother Imam Saeed Purcell here at the Richardson City Hall, where we just had a Ramadan proclamation that was signed and presented to us by the mayor of Richardson, Amir Omar. Now, some people might not understand the value of something like this, but in this time, especially here in Texas and with Epic and everything else going on, these sorts of public recognitions of Islam and Muslims and our traditions are very vital because they help raise awareness. Yes, some people are going to react, but many other people are going to see that and be moved to do what the mayor said at the end, which is engage with your Muslim neighbors, honor their traditions, get to know them, things like that, etc. Building the opportunity for dialogue and conversation that changes hearts and then changes the world.
Imagine that. That's interesting. But that's not like anything working together, right? That's not like you vote this guy in, he acknowledges these people, then they can use that acknowledgement. Oh, no, because remember, voting doesn't matter, kids. Voting's what suckers do. All right, hold on. And we're going along here. Let's see. And yes, Texas, that's a whole bunch of you right now. Why? Because they want to turn Texas blue. And libs again. Doo-doo-doo. Hey, but we just won't pick on Texas. Let's go to Leavenworth City, Kansas. Who's this? And remember, neither one, that last couple of ones and this one's not California.
I am undocumented and unafraid to know that only 15 minutes away from where I lay my head at night, I could be locked up in a cell against my will. That I could face abuse, neglect, or even be raped is a horrifying reality.
Yeah, because that's what happens when ICE gets you. Yeah. The best part, though, is the quote right here. I could be locked up in a cell against my will. Yeah, okay. Because other people get locked up for committing crimes, but it's because they want to, right? Yeah, they're like, please lock me up, please. It's not against my will. No, it's not. All right. Ooh, so, yeah, folks, in other states, pay attention. Yeah, pay attention, or you end up like the People's Republic of California. All right, so this one is hilarious and a life lesson. That's where I got it from. Don't know much about them. Yeah, so this is New York, the governor there. Let's just hear her, because she's so smart and so talented and such an example for people everywhere.
And being conscious of the facts that I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right?
Okay, hold on. Just in case you weren't paying attention. She needs these people.
I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. I mean, just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded. So I philosophically don't have a problem. It is like I have to look at the fact that we are in competition with other states who have less of a tax burden on their corporations and their individuals. And I would say remote work changed everything. There are people who could only work in an office in Manhattan.
Okay, hold on. Let me go back just a little bit, because it's so important what she says, right? Because people were leaving.
Changed everything. There were people who could only work in an office in Manhattan or work in New York State, and they were captives to our state. They were going to stay.
You heard them. They were captives, and they were going to stay. So that means she could tax them and take their money for their, what was it called? What'd she say? genuine, I can't say the word, for their social programs, for their welfare, for their free stuff that the other people were paying for, then now they're not sure how they're going to pay for it.
We saw that that's not the case. I mean, Wall Street businesses looking at Texas, they're not going there because they have a nicer governor. I know that for sure. But they're going there because of the tax rate. We have to be smart about this. But we can fund what we want to fund with what we already are taking in. And
okay, so what's the life lesson there? Socialism's great till you run out of other people's money. All right, bonus points if you know who said that. I'm paraphrasing. I didn't get the quote exactly right. But if you know who said that, go ahead and just leave us a little comment there saying, hey, this is who said this. And then we will know that you're not an idiot. So if you don't know and you don't leave a comment, you're an idiot. All right, here's where I get this one from. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so here's the thing. Trump has said, hey, California, you will pump oil. And they are not happy here. So he says, breaking, oil is now flowing for the first time in over a decade through the California pipeline because of President Trump's order. Yeah, and Newsom is melting down, and they're going crazy because all the environmentalists here are saying the federal government can't make us pump gas. Well, yeah, they can make you take it out of the ground. And they're not happy with that. So, yeah, good. Woohoo! We have lots of oil and stuff here, guys. Our gas price could be way lower, but if I remember off the top of my head, it's like $130, $1.60, something like that. In every gallon of gas here, we pay in taxes and fees and other stuff that they just thrown on over the years, right? So when you see our high gas prices, remember it's because of all that. So now I've messed with Texas because it's fun to mess with Texas. Remember Texas, they said they're coming for you. Y'all need to do something like vote. I don't know. And then we got Kansas in there. We got New York in there. All right, so we're gonna go back over to the People's Republic of California. All hail Lord Newsom. And let's talk about an issue that started out here, which I find rather interesting because some of us out this way have known this for decades. Like, it was just, I don't know, pretty much common knowledge. But other people didn't. Here's Laura Powell. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah. Wait, what did she say? Californian who refuses to retreat. Wolverines! Let's see. The United Farm Workers is counseling Cesar Chavez, its celebrated founding leader who died in 1993 over vague, unsourced allegations of inappropriate sexual conduct. Yeah. But then she says, I'm sure it has nothing to do with his strong support for limits on immigration and strict enforcement of immigration laws. So, if you want to see how this works, out here, we've known that this fella, Cesar Chavez, he didn't like illegals. He used a derogatory term for them all the time. He even told, hey, ICE, they're over there. It wasn't ICE at the time, right? It was Border Patrol. He had people go to the border to stop people from coming over. Why? Because they came over and they shut down the protests and other stuff that he was trying to do. Because they would be scabs and they would take the jobs for less money. Does this sound familiar? So other people couldn't get the job because they could pay them less. Sounds kind of familiar. Don't believe me? I shall show you. I love bringing the receipts. It's so much fun. All right, hold on. Here we go. And let's see. Wait, where did I get this one from? From this person. I see a couple places. I just grabbed it from this one. So let's see what the immigrant rights godfather says about the subject.
This question of the illegals I find very interesting. Would you say that it's
at this particular moment as important as any of the other problems facing the union?
Oh, yes. In the last 3 weeks, last 2 weeks, it has become an emergency for us. Well, there's an awful lot of illegals coming in by the hundred, by the thousands. Our people are not only in some of the crews where there's now strike breaking. Some of those crews are 100% illegals, outright, openly, with no attempt to disguise it. And so it's so bad now that we estimate 60 to 70% of the farm workers in California, of the resident worker, of the citizen, is out of a job because.
What? Oh, okay. And in case you guys didn't notice this was in 1974 he was saying this.
The wetbacks, they're coming in by the thousands.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. You got to listen to the bad language.
California, of the resident worker, of the citizen, is out of a job because of the wetbacks. They're coming in by the thousands. Just unbelievable. See, they're coming in with the consent of the Immigration Service, which is part of the Department of Justice. How else could they come? We, for instance, know that if you go to Coachella, you go to around the El Paso area, the secondary immigration checkpoints have been unmanned now for at least 3-4 weeks. They're closed. They're at night. They're dark. There aren't any patrolmen there. It's a gimmick. We think that it's a prelude at the beginning to a big drive on the part of the administration and the Mexican government to bring the Bracero program again. It's a vicious attack on the local worker, and it's just one of those things that agribusiness thinks.
If you don't know what the Bracero program was, it was where workers could come over here when they were needed, work, and then go back to Mexico. And if they were in the program, they could do it every year. But the point being, they went back.
They can get away with it, and our job is to inform the whole country what's happening, together with a boycott, and solve it that way. And so the workers themselves, even though a lot of them are Mexican descendancy themselves, are very uptight and very, very worried and very mad about the illegals coming to break their strikes, and it takes away their jobs, their livelihood, and so forth.
Does that put you in an uncomfortable position to be against the illegal immigrants because they are from Mexico? In other words, part of your program has been an appeal to equal treatment of people of Mexican origin, right?
Oh yeah, sure, but we're speaking of the legal ones. You know, we don't want Mexico to export its poverty to us, and then we pay. It's not the agriculture, it's not society in general. It's a farm worker again paying for those sins. You know, and Mexico should take the initiative and stop exporting the poverty to us. They should do something.
What? What? I think I've heard this kind of stuff recently
About the rural economy over there, and then see it's a way of breaking the strike. It's a way of demoralizing the farm workers. And for instance, the workers are going to ask for stamps, for food stamps. They're lining up the offices for welfare, and they're being told, we can't give you a job because there are plenty of jobs. And the workers say, well, there aren't any jobs. We just came from the fields. They won't hire us, or they just laid us off because either because we're strikers, or because we're members of the union, or because the Braceros, the illegals will do the job for half the money we're getting.
Huh. So if he's the poster child that has streets named after him, plazas named after him, statues to him, immigration's an issue right now, wouldn't it look bad if that video was played? If that's not the only one, by the way, he's said other things, and there's writings and everything else to back up that he said immigration needs to be handled kind of like we're saying it should be handled now. Oh no, that would be bad. So they came out and said that he sexually harassed all these people and raped people and did all kinds of stuff. Some of us knew that was like, going rumors about that dude forever. But the idea is they're trying to erase him now. Kind of like this. Here's where I get this from. I've seen this picture elsewhere. It's just where I came up with it. So when Stalin didn't like this guy anymore, now he's gone. So all they're going to try to do is get rid of him, but keep the union there and the farm worker thing there, and keep saying the same stuff that, you know, it's the evil Americans that were being mean to the farm workers, blah, blah, blah. Don't believe me? All right. Here you go. Yeah, lovely, lovely person there. Introducing legislation to change Cesar Chavez Day to Farm Workers Day in California. Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah. So we don't need him. We don't need him. We don't need him. We just need to, we need to just move past that, what he said. And it's kind of funny that they're trying to erase him with the same way they try to erase everybody else that they don't want anybody saying, listen to, you know, like Trump and others. Here's from Bakersfield Now. Doo-doo-doo. So this is funny. This was within hours of this coming out. Somebody turned it into, this is a statue of Cesar Chavez, because we're all supposed to be like him, right? Well, they turned him Muslim within the hour. Yeah. Now that statue's gone. Now they pulled it out. Because, you know, you got to get rid of the statues. You got to change the history. Yeah, you got to make it not what it was, right? We've seen it over and over again, guys. All right, and then since we're on California, we'll stick with California. So this is something those of us in California knew about. It appears this guy Stephen Miller's found out about it. Yeah. So in the 90s in California, we all voted to not give illegals anything. See right here? Here, I'll just give that one. There you go. It says, your reminder that 60% of Californians voted to strip illegals of taxpayer-funded programs, and a judge said no. Wait, hold on. Wait, what? When was this? This was in the 90s. So, hello, slow kids in the back. In the 90s, we all voted to say no in California, right? We said no money for them, no mas, right? Then a judge said, well, you can't do that. Yeah. So we had to keep giving them things. Huh. Has anything recently happened elsewhere besides California where laws were passed, actions were taken, and federal judges said, no, you can't do that? Because if things were happening now that were proven to work when they took California, maybe we should look at California to see what they're going to do next. I don't know. It worked here. Seems to be working nationwide now. Yeah, this didn't start yesterday, guys. So people in Texas, wake up. All right, and then, wait, let me check this one real quick. Oh, yeah, okay. So, and then going back to this will tie two things together, yeah? This will tie judges that we were just talking about, right? And voting. Why? Here's a Daily Mail. Got to give credit. Las Vegas sheriff refuses judge's order to free 35 arrest repeat offender and saying he's a safety issue. This douche right here. This judge right here, look at him. He has an education. He is your better. He said release him. This guy over here said no. All right, so I'll give you the short version of this. This guy on the right, who's a judge, and others who want to push his agenda and everything else, they said that the guy on the left over here, the sheriff, is an employee of the county, and he has to do what the judge said. Some of you are screaming right now, no, it's not so. This is correct. The guy on the left here is voted in. He's not an employee of the county. He's voted in by the people. And he's standing up against this judge over here who we could just say all kinds of bad things about. Just look at him. Just look at him. You can make up all kinds of good stuff. Look, he's got his hand sanitizer right there too. And he's going to let this dude out who has 35 repeated offenses. Huh. But the agenda says let them out so they cause chaos and mayhem. And the only thing you can do is go to the party for help, right? Yeah. So liberal judges doing stuff, voted in sheriff saying no. At a local county would be just one step above local, right? You can still consider it local, I guess. But remember, kids, voting doesn't matter. You're just subjecting yourself to the will of the Illuminati. All right, so moving along here. Where are we at? All right. Moving along. My phone is going crazy. Would you people stop calling me when I'm trying to film something? All right. So just because I'm not the only one that says these things. Here is the Dana Show, right? All right, here we go. Let's see what she's saying today.
I'm talking about psyops and things of that nature. These aren't people that are on the right. They're not people who think like you. They're not people who have the same values as you. They are not people who have the same principles as you. These are people who found an opportunity to make money by cosplaying as one of you.
Okay, let me help you out there. There's a whole bunch of people in social media land who are not right of center. Yeah, but suddenly they are. Suddenly they became right of center because, wait, what did that other guy say that was showing the location of the missiles? Oh, because his career, for his likes, his shares, getting his thing out there so he can be part of the club. Huh. And she's telling you the same thing I've said before. There's a whole lot of people out there claiming that they're all about America, and they're really not.
Hands to sky, that's what this is. It's a great info op. It is, but we are recognizing it, and they're failing. So now they're getting more and more desperate, and they're going to get more and more dramatic. That's why that resignation was such a touch point in all of this. This is a guy who literally said a couple of years ago, I quote, "I personally think Trump should have crushed their ballistic and nuke capabilities." Direct quote from Joe Kent. I have a
You guys know who she's talking about, right? That's the guy that just resigned. Yeah. Look into his background a little bit. He was a Democrat his whole life until recently. Huh.
ton more of them. He was scrubbing his timeline. It's important because it shows a 180 on an issue. And he's never explained why he did a 180 on this issue. He was a registered Democrat until just literally like 4.5 years ago, maybe 5. He was kind of affiliated with the Libertarian Party from 2012 to 2019. Then he switched and became a registered Democrat in 2019. I'm looking at the receipts and the actual voter registration if anybody's interested. And then he remained a Democrat and he voted for Bernie Sanders. He's a Bernie Sanders guy. I mean, it doesn't get more socialist than that, right? He is a Bernie Sanders guy. How do you go from being a Bernie Sanders fan, Bernie Sanders?
So, yeah, there's the question. So when everybody's saying, this guy knows, this guy's saying what I want to hear. What? And I believe him thoroughly. Okay. How do you go from Bernie Sanders to super MAGA and then back to, no, all that's wrong. It's the evil, evil Jews. Huh.
To, oh, I'm a big constitutionalist. How does that happen when you're talking about some of the stuff that's happening on the right, when I'm talking about psyops and things?
All right, that's just repeating it. So, yeah, so there's some questions about that guy. All right, let's cover some big ticket items, right? Some big round the world things real quick here. So I just wanted to plant that seed for a minute and connect it to that other guy that was crying about his social media post. I'm going somewhere with that. Just hang on for the ride. All right, let's see. I don't know who this person is. So apparently, Greece announces that it will close 60 mosques in the country and deport those who continue to illegally create Islamic religious spaces. Greece is taking action. So I guess they were building mosques wherever they wanted, and Greece said, no, you can't do that. But wait, that's Muslims in Greece causing problems. Huh. Just like in Texas. Huh. Maybe this is not just in your backyard kind of thing going on. All right, so now, why do we do that? Because I wanted to put a gap there in your thought for a second. So let's see what this person has to say. Who's this fellow? Let me see. Let's see. This person right here is where I got it. And let's see. This guy's saying what? Okay, you got to read it. All right, so guy's saying about these the deputy speaker of the Iranian parliament. I'll just give you the short version. We tried to develop nuclear weapons but couldn't keep it secret. On top of that, it says Joe Kent. There is zero evidence that Iran was trying to build a nuclear weapon. Netanyahu is warmongering. All right, we'll let it play.
هدفمون ساخت بمب بود دیگه ما تعارف که نداریم.
یعنی شما میگید هدف ساخت بمب بوده
واقعا 100%.
هدف کی این بوده؟ یعنی
کل نظام یا همه اونایی که این فعالیت رو شروع کردن واقعا هدف ساخت
So he's saying 100% their goal was to build a weapon.
بمب بود. کاری که شروع کرده بودیم و دیگه می‌خواستیم کار خب اینو شما اگه میتونید.
And then he says they couldn't keep it a secret. That's what the problem was.
اینو حفظش کنیم و بمب آزمایش می‌کردیم. کار تموم شده بود. مثل پاکستان.
And there's the catch. He said if they could keep it secret, then test the bomb, and everybody would go, oh, because there's sensors everywhere around the planet. They would say, hey, that was a nuke. Then they could do like Pakistan. Hey, by the way, we got nukes, right? He's flat out telling you that. He's saying it right there.
ما که شروع کردیم بعد آخرش
حالا اینه که شما میگید میگم چون ما تا حالا رسمی خیلی نشدیم کسی این صحبت رو کنه اینا.
Okay, this guy's asking him, why are you saying this? No official has ever said this.
شما میگید تبعاتی نداره مثلا مذاکرات و اینها به عنوان برای کسی که
He flat out says it. Nobody pays attention to me. Yeah? He said foreigners will find out anyway. So there he is saying it, but no, that isn't what it was, right? All right. So hold on, let me go. Wait, where am I at? Oh, I got lost. There we are. I don't know what to tell you. I could sit here and put a ton of videos up showing that dude saying one thing and now he's saying the opposite. I could show you where Iran's saying, oh, yeah, we got stuff enriched and all this stuff. You can see this stuff everywhere. They're saying it. Listen to them. I don't know what else to tell you. People are telling you what they're doing, what they're planning on doing, but people don't want to listen to them. If somebody says, I'm going to punch you in the mouth, then you should probably listen to them and think they're going to punch you in the mouth. Yeah? All right. So a little side note over here about the Strait. Here's this world news thing. Okay, so everybody's saying that the Strait of Hormuz there is closed. Nobody's coming to help, right? Everybody told Trump to take a long walk off a short pier. He's losing. We're losing. Everybody's losing. Iran's winning. Let's see. Just in. And jaw-dropping development. Japan, Britain, France, Germany, Italy, and the Netherlands pledging support for securing the Strait of Hormuz, reversing their earlier refusals amid United States pressure. No. We're losing.
Now, President Trump is about to meet with Japan's prime minister. This is a critical moment. The president demanding U.S. allies contribute more as we, along with Israel, knock down a nuclear-thirsty enemy in Iran and protect key oil shipping lanes in the Middle East. A new joint statement from Japan and other allies signaling they are ready to help secure the shipping now through the Strait of Hormuz and support efforts to stabilize global energy supplies. Now, that's counter to what some of them have previously said. We will take you to this.
Okay, so why is that a big deal? Because they need it more than we do. Remember when we just said that California was going to start pumping gas again, or oil? Yeah, they need it. We don't need it. That's for them. I believe the number off the top of my head is 2% of oil that we get from there. Like, why? We don't even really need it. Just pump our own, right? Make our own jobs, make our own economy. No, can't do such a thing. Yeah, so if they want it to stay open, they're going to have to get on it. Yeah? All right. Let's move on to, I don't know, just crazy. I don't know how else to say it other than just crazy. Yeah. But this will show you how they switch, move, change, do things to fit the narrative, to keep their agenda cranking along. Anybody know who this young lady is? That's Greta Thunberg or whatever. Yeah, the professional protester, I guess. Here's where I got it from. Yeah. And here's what she's saying about us not giving oil or not letting Cuba get oil and stuff, to tie it back to what we were talking about before.
Happening in Cuba right now. As the Trump administration is waging illegitimate wars across the world, killing countless of people, it is also strangling the Cuban people, deliberately, methodically, and openly. The pedophile Trump himself bragged about it, saying, "There's an embargo, there is no."
Okay, so let's just hold it right there for a second. If you've said anything that she said, think about it for a minute. Is the propaganda getting to me? Am I saying what Greta Thunberg's saying? Am I running out there and quoting her and all the talking points that she's saying? Because remember, she's just a mouthpiece. She's just a puppet. So am I saying what the puppet is saying? Self-reflection is a wonderful thing.
Oil, there's no money, there's no anything. He said it like it was something to be proud of, while millions of people have been plunged into darkness by rolling blackouts, while hospitals lose power, while ambulances run out of fuel, while shelves go empty. The United Nations has warned of imminent humanitarian crisis. Intensive care units and emergency rooms are compromised. Newborns, the elderly, the sick, all paying the price.
Okay, so, but wait, hold on. Cuba, where, what was it? The mayor of LA, she used to go there for training on how to be a good commie. Isn't Cuba what we're supposed to look to for how we all want to live in a wonderful socialist communist utopia? But they can't even keep the lights on without outside assistance. Wait, that would tie back to New York's governor saying she can't keep the lights on if people aren't paying for it. So the generous programs don't work unless you got somebody sending you the money. That's interesting. I wonder how all that stuff ties together.
This is not an accident or an unfortunate side effect of some policy disagreement. This is the intended outcome. Since 1962, the US embargo has been designed, in the words of the US State Department itself, to bring about hunger, desperation, and overthrow the government. Now the Trump administration is escalating it further, plotting what they themselves have called a takeover of the island. We cannot be silent about this. Cuba did not stay silent when the world needed it. For over 60 years, Cuba sent its doctors to all corners of the earth. Cuban medical workers fought Ebola in West Africa. They responded to disasters in Haiti. They trained generations of doctors from all over the world. When liberation moved...
Hey, were those doctors that were in Venezuela protecting the president when our guys went in and took him out? Those must have been doctors, not military guys. Yeah, no, those must have been doctors.
Movements were fighting for independence from colonial rule across Africa, and much of the world was looking the other way. Cuba stood in solidarity, not just in words, but in action, with real material support. Cuba stood up for the world, and now it is time for the world to stand up for Cuba. On the 21st of March, the Nuestra America convoy arrives in Havana, carrying humanitarian aid by air, land, and sea.
Didn't she just try this somewhere else? I'm pretty sure she was on a boat, and then they said, hey, we're going to put you in prison unless you take this first-class ticket and go home. And she took the first-class ticket and went home and hasn't been back there since. Where was that? There was somewhere she did that.
That day has been declared the International Day of Solidarity with Cuba, and I'm asking all of you, every friend of peace, every defender of the right of peoples to determine their own futures, to join. Wherever you are in the world, go to your local US embassy and make your voice heard. Find your local Cuba Solidarity Network, organize something in your community, show up, because the right of the Cuban people to build their own society, free from siege and economic sabotage, is not a matter of partisanship. It is a matter of basic human dignity. The people in power do not act unless we compel them to. And so now we compel them. Together, we say it loudly and clearly, Cuba sí, bloqueo no.
All righty. There's your propaganda from her for today. Kind of weird, though, that she's never gone back to Gaza. I thought she was down for that. She was going to go to the mat, die on that hill. Huh. But yeah, then they said, hey, you could go to jail if you come back and we won't let you out. Well, let me fly first class then and I'll go home. Yeah. See how some of those actions on the big dance floor tie together? Now all of a sudden Cuba's having issues, huh? All right, so here's where I got this from. Won't call it one way or the other on that dude. So in case you guys don't know, the Australian Prime Minister is basically capitulating or trying to, like they did in England, to the Muslims. And here's what they did to him.
Shame on you! Shame on you!
So he's there, he's invited there, he's a guest there, and he's supposed to do this Eid prayers thing or whatever and show that he's not Islamophobic.
Why is protecting him? Hatred, dog. Get in here, man. Get in here.
The dramatic rise in Islamophobic attacks. In essence, we have been unable to better lobby and advocate to government in regards to policy legislation that directly impacts our community. We, as Australian movement, get him out of here. He's right. This is a fight.
Yeah. So didn't they just have some kind of thing at a park there where dudes had rifles and they were shooting people? Yeah. Okay. That's what happens when a certain group of people think they have the numbers to do what they want, right? All right. So tying in old Greta with other things that we got going on. Here we go. And I don't know who this is. Yeah. So the DSA, we'll just go down here to where they're at. There they are. Democratic Socialist of America. And they're going to go on the Nuestra America convoy this March 21st. Isn't that tomorrow? Something like that. And they're going to send aid to Cuba. Yeah, the DSA. We've talked about them before. So they're going to go with little Greta there, I guess, and they're going to help out their communist brothers and sisters. Yeah. All right. And then going along with the propaganda thing, all right? Greta's going to motivate you, all that good stuff. In case you guys didn't know this, I want to share this with you, all right? Here's this guy. Don't know who the fuck he is. So Pakistan dropped a bomb on a hospital in Afghanistan, killing 400 people. You never guess whose fault it is. Here's this guy. Don't know who he is. Don't care. Let's see. Pakistan dropping bombs on Afghanistan is completely unacceptable. And we can only conclude that the Pakistan military has been compromised by the U.S. and therefore Israel. All right, think about what you're saying. Because here's a Dingleberry doofus, whatever his name is. And he's saying that Pakistan does not have their own reasons, wants, desires, mental ability to drop bombs on Afghanistan, you know, that's full of Taliban that was attacking Pakistan. Okay. And the only way that the bomb could have hit something other than intended is because why? Why? Because the military has been taken over by the U.S. and therefore Israel, otherwise known as the Jews. So if you're going around saying, Jew behind every corner, there's a Jew here, there's a Jew there, they're in charge of everything, you kind of sound like that dude. Yeah? All right. So let's keep going along this propaganda thing, since it's one of my favorite conversations. Going back to that dude that came out, that Joe Kent. Yeah. So amazing how he resigns. The next day he's going on Tucker Carlson. And then this person that keeps track of where information goes and how it's disseminated, he comes out and says, hey, yeah, everybody started retweeting it and going crazy with it. And pretty much it was everybody that's American started retweeting it and sending it out. Russian state TV, Iranian state media, Hamas aligned I can't remember how to say it, news network, Turkish state broadcast. Wow, all these people. Wow. Says the rollout wasn't spontaneous, it was scripted. Can't resign. Tucker booked within hours. Yeah. So Israel forced the U.S. into the war. Israel killed Charlie Kirk. Israel controls America. Says a lazy repackaging anti-Semitic stuff. Yeah, so these people just keep pumping it out, and then people start to hear it. Oh yeah, but they never ask where it comes from. Who's pumping it out? Russian state TV, Iranian state media. The Chinese were in there somewhere too. Why? Because that would hurt America, otherwise known as our enemy. So if you're spewing stuff that you keep hearing, all the cool kids are saying it, I should say it too. All right, so speaking of cool kids, we're going to take it all the way back to some of those events that happened, like the bomb throwing and that dude that we're supposed to think that he's now the leader of the resistance or something. I don't know. Hold on, but we got to cover a word I used to hear all the time. Agent provocateur. Let me see. No, that's a lingerie thing. That's not the right one. Let's see. Outside of fashion. There we go. An agent provocateur is a person employed by the government or police to go undercover and encourage others to commit illegal acts. The primary goal is to gather evidence for an arrest or to discredit a political movement. Infiltration. They often pretend to sympathize with the group's aims to incite them into incriminating acts. So this agent provocateur, other than a fashion show, is what I've been told has been happening forever. Yeah? That the government sends them in. Hold on, let me get this one to close, if it'll close. That one's not closing. Oh, there. Oh, gosh darn it. Hold on, give me a second. Stupid computer. Hold on. Let me go here. I kept the link this time. Dun, dun, dun. Somebody's trying to oppress me. The CIA is making it so my laptop won't do the right thing. Let me do this. They're out to get me, man. Okay, hold on. It's going to come up. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Stop. All right. So let me go back over here so I can hit the right button. So this Jake Lane guy, he's supposed to be our big hero. He's supposed to be leading the charge against the forces of Muslimness and everything else, right? Okay. Let's see what this says.
But you act like need to be called. It's true. It's a fact of life. And these people are acting like and until they can act like white people, they can't be around us.
So do you realize it makes us look so bad? You're making people like
Why?
me look so bad when you say things like that.
If they don't forget the pig heads.
Can I just ask a really quick question? You just mentioned that you were Ashkenazi Jewish.
My mother is, yes.
Your mother. Okay, so are you Jewish or are you Christian?
I'm Christian. No, but Judaism is from Abraham, also a bloodline. So it's not all black people.
Okay. You heard that, right? He just said that he was Aska something or another Jewish. Yeah? So let me share this one. I am not going to go through this entire video because it's long. But in this video from this guy, Kirk Kafferhoff, yeah, I will attempt to remember to put the link down there. Everyone's favorite fighting for the cause guy. If you go to the 45, 48-ish mark, he talks about being Jewish. And then, what is that, 40 or 45, this 48, 50, she asked him about being an agent or about being Jewish. And then in hour 14, gets called out about being a mixed race after he's saying racists shouldn't mix. And at the 120 mark, he keeps lumping Jews in with the white folks. And then at the 145 or hour 45, wants to tell women to make babies like the Muslims do. Does he have any kids? I don't know. But anyway, so here's my question. If this dude is, I can't say it, whatever kind of Jew, and they're being a Jew through their mother, right? So that means that Akananzi, or however the heck you say it, he's a Jew. He comes in, he likes throwing down the N-word. He likes bringing pig heads to Muslims. He likes burning Qurans. He likes stirring up the pot, right? So we get these two factions fighting together. I'm always told that helps the Jews. And here's a Jew stirring the pot. Would that be an agent provocateur? I don't know. He just admitted he was, right? I don't know. So everybody that's like rah, rah, rah behind him, are you rah, rah, rahing behind an agent provocateur? Because he fits the definition, right? And I've been told for years that's what happens. Where else was he? He was at January 6th. And he did things that caused things. And who did that help? I don't know. Fits the definition, takes actions that would maybe make you think he's a hero, right? Not mine, but some people want to put him up on that pedestal. Yeah. Oh, got to notice. So here's the thing. Propaganda's working. You see it happening. There's all kinds of stuff going on for reals, right? Big world out there, big games out there. What can we do? The same thing we say all the time. Vote. Get knowledgeable about stuff, man. Start local. I've showed examples today where that works, right? Do something besides sitting on the couch, eating Cheetos, drinking Bud Light, telling everybody how cool you're going to be at some future point, right? And Virginia, welcome to the party, man. Welcome to the People's Republic of Virginia. Yeah. Soon, California will rule all of America. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's see. Hey, let people know we're here. Let people know we're doing stuff. Probably going to try to start doing lives again soon. I just got family stuff going on. That's why we're doing it this way. And then when I put this one out, I will try to be on my phone commenting and interacting with everybody. Appreciate the new folks that have come around. Really appreciate the folks that stayed with us. I think that's all I got for this week, guys. And no, I don't cover every single story constantly, always. We wait till we get some information, then we look at most of them, right? All right. As always, guys, for reals, it's crazy out there. Stay safe.
Stand and be the story told.